Let's get to humping, everybody. How we doing out there? Hopefully doing good. Welcome to Film Junkee Live. It's Wednesday. It's time to talk about some things. How we doing out there? Hit that like, thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And do all the things. You want to become a member, be part of that family, do that. Got the Patreon right there if you want to support. And then, of course, all the sock meds right there to follow all my awesome postings that I put on social media. How we doing? Hopefully you guys are having a good Wednesday. See who's out there. We got the Dark Knight. The Dark Knight 23. One of the new executives at Netflix hates zombies. Is that true? Uh-oh, is it Dan Lin? Could be. What's going on, Ryan? Good to see you, bud. We got Bossara 95. Good to see you. We'll be doing some work. Get to work. Get to work, you. What's going on, Mr. Fear Jason? Always good to see you. We got Mr. Axel right here. No hard feelings. What up? What's going on? Hope we get Planet of the Dead. Yeah, I think we're a lot of us are hoping for that for sure. Shane O, what's happening? Everybody on? Yeah, good to see you. Good to see you. Let's see. We got Travis Thomas. Well, Dan Lin hates Snyder, so if this is true, I'm sure it was him. And we're going to dive into that. What's going on, Mr. Trevino? What's happening? Good seeing you, too. Yes, saw you on Saturday as well. Always great to see you, bud. It was always great. It was always great to put a face on the name. So thank you for coming up to me, and I appreciate that. What's going on, Music Man? What's happening? Happy Wednesday. Let's get the humping there, Joe. What is up? All right, who else we got here? We got Sonny, WBD taking fat L's. Dug their own grave, I think you meant. Or you meant Grace. I don't know, maybe you meant Grace. Grace, very, very murky water. Ahead of their IP for what it's worth. If Zaslav whores out IP, yikes. Also, Rebel Moon ain't in no danger. I'll contest to that. Well, I love the optimism. Always love the optimism when it comes to that. Appreciate you, Sonny. Taladia Plays. What's happening? Hope all is well. I hope Zach does get to do Planet of the Dead. I really enjoy it. Yeah, I know. I've even expressed that too. Nerdy Mastermind, well, I'm definitely not the biggest Snyder fan. I think he should take some time off and come back with an indie movie at A24 or Neon. It's clear his stuff isn't connecting. Okay. No sound? What's going on? No sound? Okay, no, there is sound. See, that always trips me out. I'm like, what? No sound? I'm like, I'm seeing it from my end, so that's good. I know. Who hates zombies? How dare you hate zombies? Azteca, what's going on? Dave, did you see the if Bruce's parents did die meme? I sent you. Oh, no, I'll have to check it out. I'll check it out. If you sent it to Junkee Film messaging or my personal, I don't know which one. Mr. Balga, there you go. There's my buddy. I don't think the rumor means the end of Zack with Netflix. I believe they will be reevaluating the deal with changes to how much they are putting towards the projects. Makes sense. Makes sense. Okay, we're good. Hey, we got my favorite Fabian. Hashtag restore the Snyderverse. Well, I mean, after some of the things we talk about today, I don't know if that might be less and less of a possibility, you know? But hey, at least you only have one hashtag this time, Fabian, but I appreciate it. But yeah, like I said, subscribe, guys. Yes, we're going to be breaking down on what exactly is going on with Zack Snyder's universes and Netflix, because I know it's been interesting seeing people's reactions, and of course we're going to go over that article that came out that got people freaked out a little bit. A little freaked out when it comes to everything. So, hey, what's going on, RJ? Good to see you, buddy. Hope all the rumors aren't true, because I want more Army of the Dead, yeah? Seems like Army of the Dead was a little bit... Rebel Moon's... There's quite a discourse when it comes to Rebel Moon. Army of the Dead... Definitely, it seemed like people mainly liked that movie. I mean, there are people that didn't, for sure, but like I said, we're going to break down both of those articles when it comes to what's happening over there with Netflix and everything, and then we're going to be talking about some missed cameos, as in not cameos that you missed, but cameos when people thought there was going to be cameos and cameos. There's not a lot, but you know, there's cameos in Deadpool, Wolverine. I mean, obviously there's a numerous people thought, oh, this person's going to show up, that character's going to show up, and you know, Sean Levy and Ryan Reynolds have been doing post interviews, spoiler interviews, talking about the possibilities of certain cameos that maybe didn't quite make it because they reached out, or that they didn't want them to be in Deadpool and Wolverine. So talk about that, and we're going to talk about we got like 3 movies coming out this weekend. Borderlands is one of them, which so many people are talking about. So many people are just talking about Borderlands, but we also have Blake Lively's It Ends With Us movie that's coming out, as well as the Cuckoo movie that's also coming out as well. So there's like 3 movies. So let's kind of dive into some of those reviews. And then, of course, we're going to talk about Warner Brothers taking more L's as they do. And, of course, it's Wine Wednesday, guys, so cheers. I poured a nice fat glass of wine right here to start the show. Why not? Why not? All right, let's go ahead and let's get to these tweets. Let's see what's happening over in the Twitter world right now. Start off right away with some beautiful art from Boss Logic right here. That's right. Look at that. Of course. Boss Logic with a very awesome Hugh Jackman Wolverine poster right here. And always does great work. Looking pretty good. Also, there's like a Boss Logic poster that's like floating around out there that I think it's Mr. Let's Go, Mr. Soups posted, and a lot of people were freaking out thinking it was an official poster because apparently he got it sent to him from the Russo brothers, and he was freaking out, you know, and so people were freaking out thinking that was like official art that shows Robert Downey Jr. Doctor Doom, but it was like, nah, it's just a concept, and you know, Boss Logic does work with Marvel Studios, so maybe it's going to look a little bit like that because it looks like Iron Doom. That's what it looks like, so. But anyways, and we'll go over that. And let's see here. I want one of these jerseys. I don't know about you, but I would love one of these jerseys, although it does have the old DC logo on it, but I still would like it because I am a baseball fan. You guys know this. But the Meteors, the Metropolis Meteors, they have this displayed right here. Baseball jersey. This is for the crew. Of course, Superman has wrapped, and we already saw the logo, but yeah. Here's the Meteors logo, and then, of course, the Superman logo. But, yeah, it does have the old DC logo, which is kind of interesting. But, hey, there's nothing wrong with the old DC logo. It's not terrible. I just, and, of course, you got Luthor Corp right here. You got Luthor Corp right here, so that's pretty cool. I'm like, give me one of them, please. Get me one of them. Get me one of them. Oh, boy. So, Kevin Feige, you knew it was going to be the case, and I'm surprised there hasn't been more questions when it comes to Kevin Feige and this specific question. But at the same time, I'm going, oh yeah, I'm sure that when people were basically, when it comes to press junkets, they were saying, hey, don't ask about Kang the Conqueror. Don't ask him about it. But Screen Rant, apparently somebody over at Screen Rant decided to ask him, and we got a little clip right here. It's brief, but this is like the only clip that you'll see of Kevin Feige getting asked about Kang the Conqueror.
You know, I've done a number of interviews in the last couple of days, and you're the first person to, I give you credit for just outright asking the question. And I'll give myself credit for trying to evade it and avoid it entirely. Do you know?
There you go. That's it right there. He was like, hey, I commend you, give you credit for asking the question. Not going to answer it, totally going to evade it as much as possible. But he gave him credit for that. But I'm just kind of going, nobody else decided to ask that? Something tells me that that was one of the things that you weren't supposed to ask Kevin Feige or anybody, was don't mention Kang. And that just kind of shows you right there that it's like, yeah, we're just not going to talk about that. We're going to totally avoid it. But I'm just kind of wondering in future interviews, is Kevin Feige he's going to have to, right? He's going to have to actually talk about it just a little bit. But that's his response right there. But he just was like, Straight up. That's not happening. And thank you, Joe, for the $10 super chat. I'll get to your message after we get done with the tweets, which shouldn't take too long, but thank you for the super chat. I'll get to it in a bit. Much appreciated, sir. Much appreciated. And yes, guys, if you want to, we saw Calverine, but you want to see Daverine? There we go. That's from Mr. Fear Jason right there. Yep. My hair, I could totally make my hair like that. I can't grow a beard like that, though. Nope, can't grow a beard like that. But hey, I could try, but it would be patchy as all hell. Yeah, sadly, like right here, I don't grow too well. I could grow this. I can grow all this, even some sideburns. But when it comes to right here, can't really grow too much facial hair. It's just part of the genetics. My dad can't grow a beard as well. That's part of the Mexican genetics that I have. The Mexican genetics keep me looking, youthful at least. But yeah, can't really grow too much hair right here, So it gets really patchy, but can do the chin pubes and the mustache as well. So let's see. Okay, we'll be going over that, and then of course this was funny right here. Obviously, like I said, we're going to be talking about Blake Lively's new movie when it comes to It Ends With Us. And I saw one of the fucking stupidest headlines from THR probably about an hour ago. Because, Deadpool and Wolverine is still going to be who knows if it's going to get dethroned this weekend. Probably not going to get dethroned. But I saw a stupid headline from THR that said, can Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds do Barbenheimer 2.0? Go fuck yourself. Like, are you fucking serious? Somebody actually made that headline right there. Somebody actually made that headline. Couldn't believe it when I saw that. I was like, are you kidding me? It's like, no, nobody's thinking it's going to be Barbenheimer 2.0, but it is kind of cool that, husband and wife are going to have new movies out, but this was something that happened right here.
Thank you, Brandon. I love the movie.
So Brendan Sklenar, which of course I think could be a possibility for DCU Batman. This is pretty funny right here.
It's not every day the husband gets to interview his wife's love interest in a film. It's kind of crazy.
I don't remember seeing this on the schedule.
Shall we?
Yeah.
So I saw you posing in a photo with Mrs. Reynolds, and I'm sorry, what do you call her? You guys have a nickname or something? Okay, no, just so it's Mrs. Okay. Anyways.
We don't have to watch the whole thing, but yeah, basically Ryan Reynolds interviews him and then brings in his mom for the interview too. Twitter, you failed me. But yeah, brings in his mom. It's a pretty funny interview, but it just goes to show you that, Ryan Reynolds and his marketing crew, I mean, you just basically put them with anybody. There's going to be some gold that comes out of it for sure. And I thought that was pretty hilarious. So check it out if you haven't right there. But yeah, just pretty funny. Pretty good right there. But again, Brandon Sklenar. Yeah, I mean, even though he's rocking that big, thick, a little thick mustache. I'm just saying, like, he's, for DCU Batman, hey, I'm all for it. And I'm all for this, too. Look at this shot right here. This trio. Beautiful. Black and white. Gotta love it. Cheers to this right here. Elektra, Blade, and Gambit. Just such a beautiful shot. Gotta love it. So, yeah, that was posted. That could be a poster. That could absolutely be a poster. Let's get some more of that. Just thought that was really cool. All right. Man, I need 10. And then, of course, there's other stuff too. And then, of course, there was this right here. And why do we love Hugh Jackman? Because Hugh Jackman seems like such a lovable dude, like a big, huge teddy bear and whatever. And we've seen it before. The last time that we saw this kind of video was for Logan, where we see him doing the ADR, performing the ADR, and just getting really into it, doing the and doing all the grunts and everything, and doing all that. Sean Levy decided to post this of him doing the Deadpool and Wolverine, that pivotal scene where they take on the whole Deadpool core. Little fuckers. Yeah. Yes. You know what's beautiful about this? He remembers the choreography. If you watch, you can see he's doing like the actual choreography of the movie. Look at that. I mean, he's actually like, he has it memorized. That's what I love. That he's so into it that he's doing the choreography.
Fuck you.
Fuck you. That's just, how do you not love that? How do you not see that and go, oh my God, this guy, professional right there. Absolute professional. God, I love that. I love seeing that stuff. You know, but he gets so into it, and he's timed it perfectly of what's happening on the screen. Oh, you gotta love that. You gotta love that. And okay. This one right here. Time to get a little cheeky, and not in the cheeky way that you might think that I'm referring to. Guys, all of a sudden I'm hyped for. Guys, I'm all of a sudden hyped for the Rey Skywalker movie, okay? Or the Star Wars movie that Rey might be showing back. Or, Daisy Ridley coming back for Rey Skywalker. I know a lot of people are just kind of going like, really? Like, she's coming back? They're going to revisit that? But, the details are interesting and everything. But, yeah, for some reason I'm hyped, and I guess I'll show you exactly why. Okay, well, there you go. Yeah. I'm like, okay, is she getting a little cheeky right there, apparently. Daisy Ridley showing off bottom of the cheeks there. So, yeah, bring on the Rey Skywalker movie. I'm just saying. Holy Lord, that was from Women's Health magazine. She had a whole spread. Okay. But, she had that right there, and it was just like, whoa, buddy, there you go. I mean, there's other images, too, showing off, she's in very much good shape and everything, and, yeah, I don't mind that at all. But I do, say, give my prayers out to her, I guess you'd say, or whatever, but she did reveal that she has Graves' disease, a disorder, Graves' disorder or something, which apparently is something that has to do with the thyroid. So she does have a little bit of an illness that she did reveal too. But, she's keeping high hopes, treating it, and keeping in good health. So good on Daisy Ridley right there. But man, when I saw that image, I went, holy Lord, look at that. Look at all that right there. Jesus Christ. Okay, I got the Giants game on right now. It's bases loaded in the fucking ninth inning. We got the closer in there, Duvall. Bases loaded. He's shit in the bed right now. What is going on here? Good Lord. Come on. Guys, when is the new Blade movie going to come out? Is the Blade movie ever going to come out? Mahershala Ali, MCU Blade, is it ever going to come out? I mean, I saw something earlier today that said, oh, it's in limbo status. Yeah, no shit, it's in limbo status. And it's funny because obviously, talking a lot of Deadpool and Wolverine, specifically when it comes to cameos and spoilers, Ryan Reynolds was like, hey, you know what would be a good idea? You know what would be a pretty damn awesome idea when it comes to Wesley Snipes' Blade? To have a Logan-style send-off for Wesley Snipes' Blade. That would actually end up coming out before the new Blade movie. Somebody can get writing on that, get it going, do rewrites, get somebody else to look at it, and it can go into pre-production before the MCU Blade movie with Mahershala Ali. My God. And that sounds awesome. They should do that instead, maybe. I don't know. It's like, what? Like, that sounds pretty freaking good. Would be pretty sweet, but that's not going to happen. But hey, would be pretty sweet if it did. But it's like, hey, can we Can we at least get the other Blade movie going? I'm just saying. And yay, the Giants won. Holy crap, that was a little nerve-wracking at the end there. My God. All right. And then another thing, when it came to Deadpool and Wolverine was obviously there was limitations when it came to Deadpool coming into the MCU. Now, Kevin Feige was great and said, no, we're going to keep it R-rated, make it raunchy, make it whatever. But one specific request when it came to Deadpool in the MCU was a thing that was heavy in the first Deadpool movies, which was cocaine. The cocaine use when it came to the Deadpool movies. Sean Levy reveals the no cocaine rule in Deadpool and Wolverine. Early on, Kevin was like, look, we want a fully Deadpool movie. The only thing maybe we don't do all the drug use. The cocaine use with Al and Wade. And we were like, yes, sir. Yep, copy that. And we went home and literally wrote the joke. So yeah, obviously no cocaine use, but it was like, all right, let's do the whole parody weird thing, where it's like, okay, we're going to talk about it and make jokes about it. So, and that was on Horowitz's Happy Sad podcast right there. Good stuff. Ooh, and this is good stuff too. Guys. Oh boy. Okay, so I heard about this and I was going, okay, I'm intrigued because I'm a sucker for some really cool fan films. And I remember hearing about this. I think I actually might have talked about this too, but we have a Batman Beyond fan film that just released a teaser. And that's right. You know who's actually playing Batman, who's playing Terry McGinnis, is actually Ryan Potter, who, of course, is starting the Titan series and everything. But he's playing Terry, and check this out. Ooh, look at that. That looks pretty.
Remember,
that guy looks familiar too.
Why did we forget about all of that?
Oh, oh, oh. Ow! Year one. I like how they titled it Year One. That's what I'm talking about right there. That looks pretty good. Everything, the aesthetic, everything. The guy who plays the Joker looks familiar. That guy's face looks a little familiar right there. But yeah, little teaser right there. Not sure exactly when it's coming out, but I'll definitely be watching that and checking that out and talking about that. Give me more of that, please, for sure. And then I'm totally all about this right here. And I've told you guys this. The Jason Reitman Saturday Night, which is about the first episode of Saturday Night Live. They revealed the cast right here. Look at them in all their 70s get-up right here. That's right. Gabrielle LaBelle is Lorne Michaels, which he's not right there. But then, of course, you got Dylan O'Brien right here. He's playing Dan Aykroyd. And then Corey Michael Smith is playing Chevy Chase. You can see him right there. Lamorne Morris is playing Garrett Morris. And then Rachel Sennett is playing Rosie Schuster. And then Ella Hunt playing Gilda Radner right there. So, yeah. And then you got Matt Wood who's playing John Belushi, which is right there. Gilda Radner's up here. So, but yeah, they released, Vanity Fair released some images right here. Everything's looking cool. I'm very curious about this. Very curious because I am a Saturday Night Live snob. Totally all fascinated about that show. And kind of I was obsessed with it at one point. And then guess what, guys? You're going to be able to see Batman on the big screen in various different movies right here. Batman is back on the big screen. So we have Batman Mask of the Phantasm. That's you can be able to see it when it comes to AMC theaters, and Dolby is doing like this whole thing. August 30th, you could see that. Lego Batman, Batman Forever, Batman and Robin, and then, of course, the Dark Knight Trilogy weekend is going to be happening September 30th. And then you got The Batman coming out September 27th. Even Matt Reeves tweeted that out too, which was kind of cool. But yeah, you can see all those Batman movies. I'm kind of curious of why there wasn't Batman 89, Batman Returns, Batman vs. Superman. That's what I was kind of wondering. I was like, okay, well, there's like 3 movies. Why not those? I'm kind of wondering why those ones weren't. But hey, you know, if you can go out and see those, I'm kind of curious if I can find anything close to me, but we'll see. Hey, we got Andy Muschietti right here. Hey, look who he's with, a certain Flash actor that wasn't in the Flash movie, which we all thought he was going to be in. I kept on saying, oh yeah, he's going to definitely be in the Flash movie. But yeah, Andy Muschietti showed up for Water for Elephants, the Broadway production that Grant Gustin is in. So that's cool that they got a little photo op right there. Still don't understand. I honestly thought, again, like when it comes to the Flash movie, it's like, yeah, enjoyed it. Even enjoyed some of the cameos, but man, it was like, why, Ezra was in, Grant's portion. Why couldn't they reverse that? I don't know. It's just, yeah, it's always interesting. But hey, what can you do? What can you do? All right, what else we got? I think that's... Ooh. Well, first off, okay, so this is so random. This is so random right here. This is absolutely random. But the official Twitter account for the Academy, as in the Academy Awards, they tweeted out about 3 ninjas. Anybody remember 3 ninjas? I'm Colt, because I'm fast. He's Rocky because he's solid. And he's Tum Tum because he'll eat anything. 3 Ninjas kicked its way into theaters this day 32 years ago. It's like so random. The Academy tweeting on the 32nd anniversary of 3 Ninjas coming out. I don't know why that's a thing, but I love it because when I was a kid, I loved that movie. I remember renting that movie because kids in my class back then were going, oh my God, 3 Ninjas, gotta watch 3 Ninjas. So I was like, I begged my mom, take me to the video store. I don't know if it was Blockbuster or the local video store, but I was like, hey, I gotta watch this movie, 3 Ninjas. And I remember watching that movie probably 3 or 4 times that weekend. I loved that movie. And then going to my friend's house, we watched it. I loved that movie. There was actually there was 2 sequels to 3 Ninjas, but nothing beats that first one. Nothing beats that first one. And shit's getting pretty bad too because Taylor Swift has had to, she's had to cancel shows in Vienna. She had a couple shows she had to cancel because ISIS is running a little bit of a muck over in that portion of the world, and apparently there was some threats of a terrorist act. Yeah, shit's not just bad in America. Shit's bad all over the place. Let's just say that. Ooh, all right. David Ayer has not. Well, he keeps on talking about the Ayer cut, little things when it comes to his cut of the movie, and he decided to post something that he found today, which is pretty interesting. It's always cool when hey. Just throw a little page from that script, that original script that you had right here. He posted this. Found this today. That's right. Found it today. So, hey, you can, and there's a big X on it because, let's see. We got Frost right there. Founder boss. Please don't. Please. I did what you said. I helped you. I'm talking about, obviously Dr. Quinzel, probably the whole breakout thing. Because Joker peels off his prison top, he's ripped like an MMA fighter. So there you go. That was actually in the script. That's why he is definitely ripped. But yeah, he had a whole page and a little sketch right there. A little sketch. But that wasn't it. That wasn't all. He also posted this page right here that shows an exchange between Deadshot. That's right. Deadshot He made you, he'll destroy you. Harley registers that with a slight flick of her eyes. Yeah, just read all that right there. Hurry up. Do you have to make a goddamn... obviously showing off the bad relationship between Harley and Joker. Flag even says, Deadshot, think you can drop him before he hits the button with what? A dirty look? Harley climbs to the steps to join Joker, whispers in his ear, please don't disrespect me in front of my friends. Ugh. Then he says, that's the last time you disobey me. Grabs her by the throat. Holds the weapon up to her temple. Harley says, you're not the boss of me. Ooh, posting some of that. Ooh-wee. So intense. Marvel Studios posted this right here. All natural. All new. X-Mane. It's not a hairpiece. It's a hair system. It's funny. That's freaking funny. Gotta love that. Gotta absolutely love that. It's like so ridiculous. So ridiculous. And this is hilarious right here. So, okay. So, when it comes to Logan and, I don't doubt this. Again, it just seems like Hugh Jackman's like, yeah, I could totally understand why he felt like this when it came to Logan and going back and forth with Dafne King, especially in that car where they're going back and forth. But this is funny. Jackman revealed, I just yelled, shut the fuck up! At the end of the 40 minutes of this, I said to Daphne's mother, Maria, I've got an 11-year-old and I'm just really sorry. Maria said, don't worry. She called you a cunt in Spanish. So he felt bad that he yelled, shut the fuck up to Dafne, who was like 12, 13, whatever she was. And then he apologized to her mom. And then her mom was like, do you realize that she was yelling all kinds of stuff and called you a see you next Tuesday in Spanish? So it's okay. That's so funny. That's hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. And that wraps up the tweets right there, guys. That wraps up the tweets. Good times. Good times. How we doing? We got Stephanie T here. We got Jose here. Yep. Three Ninjas is cinema. Three Ninjas is cinema. Go watch it. It's ridiculously stupid 90s great stuff. Anyways. Adios, pendejo. Exactly. Exactly right there. But I just thought that was funny when I saw that. I was like, oh. Hugh felt bad. He felt bad. He felt bad. Nothing wrong with feeling bad. Nothing wrong with that. All right, what are we doing here? Let's make sure I got everything up right here when it comes to this. I think I forgot to open. There we go, that one. All right, what the hell is happening over there at Netflix when it comes to Zack Snyder and his two universes, the Rebel-verse, the Army-verse? Obviously, the Army-verse was very intriguing. There's been 2 movies, and there's also been 2 movies when it comes to the Rebel-verse. And, yeah, a lot of us were kind of wondering, well, first off, we got numbers. We got first weekend numbers when it comes to the director's cuts of Rebel Moon. And, well, it's not really a good start when it comes to those numbers. Rebel Moon director's cuts flop on Netflix top 10s. Third seems unlikely. Now, when it comes to this article right here, I mean, it's not like they are they are what's on Netflix. They're not like they don't work directly for Netflix, but yeah, we got the numbers right here. Not looking too good when it comes to at least the director's cuts. Basically, like in the 3 million, like the high 3 millions, almost 4 million when it comes to that. But yes, so in the week of July 29th to August 4th, Saving Bikini Bottom, Sandy Cheeks movie, was at the top with 12.8 million for the, the opening and all that and having all that. And when it came to the R-rated ones, they both had less than 3.6 million views when it came to the opening weekend, which is way down from the 23.9 of the first movie and 21.4 when it came to part 2. Yeah. So that was the way that they posted those right there. So not even in the top 10 when it came to global views, when it came to Rebel Moon. Now, obviously I talked about this already, and when I posted this tweet last night, seeing that, it wasn't a good start, that tweet is, of course, took off, and 97.7% of the responses, of course, are the exact same thing of, they shouldn't have released the PG-13 cuts, That's all I saw pretty much when it came to underneath there. So I was like, yes, we know that's, this little experiment. And that's what I talked about on Monday was like, okay, the experiment most likely didn't work. But then, of course, you could do the whole technicality thing where it's like, well, the first ones had these numbers. So then you could just think about it. It's 2 movies, even though it's 4 movies, you could kind of tack it onto there. And I saw that optimism out there and I went, that's one way to look at it. So you can actually be like, well, both parts got 30 million all together. Can we look at it like that? Well, we're not going to look at it like that because most likely Netflix is not going to look at it like that. But at the same time, when Netflix came up with this idea of kind of capitalizing on the whole Snyder Cut magic that happened, it just didn't work, and it felt like after things have changed, they just kind of lost interest with it. And I even told you guys too, like when it came to my hype for the Rebel Moon director's cuts, I lost hype because after part 2 came out in April, saw it and was like, okay, stuff missing, obviously, and then just kind of lost hype. But then I went and saw the screenings and I went, oh wow, these movies are, they're complete. There's a lot here. And then hearing Zach talk about it, Q&A, a lot of stuff like that. Just like, whoa, craziness right there. So I was like, okay. And then I came home and then the next day, woke up in the morning, put them on and went, and I put them on. I was working on stuff and I had them on in the background. I'm just going like, this is the movies that we were hoping for. And then I, of course, had dinner with my mom and saw her new place, came home, put on chapter 2, and I was like, it's good stuff right there. This is good stuff. I'm now wanting more from this world. Before I was like, just give me more Army of the Dead. Give me more Army of the Dead. Thank you, Lisa, for the $10 super chat. Hello, darling. So I'm one of those that did lose hype as well. And being a Zack Snyder fan, absolutely. Did lose hype a little bit. And but what's interesting about this and with these numbers coming out, it's just kind of interesting how Netflix just didn't really do much. It's like they release a trailer and they say like his true vision. I'm like, okay, but can you do more when you're talking about, hey, you're not even calling it the Snyder Cut. I figured they were going to call it Rebel Moon the Snyder Cut. To just use that name, but maybe they didn't want to use that because maybe it was trademarked. I don't know what the deal is when it comes to not even using Snyder Cut as a name. They just said director's cuts. And, kudos to Zack because obviously he was selling it. He was selling it like crazy to the point where he was saying like it's pretty much a completely different movie. And I will say that obviously watching them, they are different in the way that everything is fleshed out and it looks different and everything just moves smoothly and the world building is definitely there, but at the same time it's still the same movie because it's still, you still have the same things that are happening in the movie. So I know he went hard on that to almost make it seem like, wait a minute, are we just going to see completely different scenes? No, that doesn't really happen. You just see more of the scenes. You have some more weight to the scenes. I mean, they weren't lying when it came to the opening of Rebel Moon Chapter 1, opening completely different that makes a different, sets a different tone, I guess you could say. And it definitely does. When you see that opening scene of Chapter 1, it is a crazy scene, and it makes Noble look a lot more of a villain, like a villain where you go, oh my God, this guy is fucked up. Things that are happening like right at the beginning are fucked up for sure. But yeah, they just kind of like gave up on it, and is part of that because of Scott Stuber no longer being part of Netflix? Most likely. Dan Lin now part of Netflix, and now they're going like, hey, yeah, you know, we're kind of cutting some things right here because, well, you know, when it came to bringing Zack over, obviously he's full of ideas, and it's like, yeah, we want some of that mojo, that Zack mojo. He's a very creative person. He knows how to world build, and he definitely knows how to do it because obviously when it came to Army of the Dead, he was building a world and building a lot of things when it came to Army of the Dead, to the point where we got a prequel movie, which was great, but of course we were supposed to get a prequel series, and then of course the sequel, and some spin-offs when it came to that. Then you got the Rebel Moon universe, where he's like, oh yeah, there's tons of spin-offs and everything, comic books, podcasts, we're going to have all this. And he definitely does his work, and this is what I love about Zack, is the fact that he doesn't just do cheap things. He actually goes, all right, we have to create this right here in order for this one thing to work. And that's what I love about Zack, is the attention to detail. Now, when it comes to Scott Stuber was all about that. But then all of a sudden he checks out, and then of course now Netflix is doing different things, and then you bring in Dan Lin. Well, guess what? Dan Lin, probably not the biggest fan of Zack. Okay, and I've heard and that's what I've heard. He's not the biggest fan of Zack. He's not a big fan of Zack's fans. Let's face it, there are a lot of people that are not big fans of the Snyder fandom because sadly, everybody always looks at the more loud voices when it comes to Zack Snyder's fandom. That's the bad part. Is people mainly look at the loud voices that are out there that, that have, I've dealt with them. People have dealt with them, even being a Zack Snyder fan. And thank you, Miss Lisa, for gifting those memberships right there. Love you. You're awesome. Thank you very much. Yeah, so Dan Lin, not a fan. Definitely not a fan. And things that are rearranging, and I don't know, it's all just like crazy, because then all of a sudden, when it comes to what's on Netflix, they released this article that came out today that got people kind of freaking out about the Army universe. Netflix reportedly quietly cancels Army of the Dead sequels and animated series. What? But then at the same time, what are they sourcing? They are sourcing an article that came out a week ago. What? How did this slip by? From the Wrap. And this is this shot right here from the Wrap that said this: Army of the Dead, a movie the Snyders made for Netflix before Rebel Moon, had a similarly ambitious plan with several sequels and spin-offs in the works. One, the prequel Army of Thieves that actually was released, along with an animated series. The animated series was quietly canceled along with plans for subsequent films. Zack said, "We are very ambitious with everything, and Army of the Dead isn't entirely dead," as Deborah pointed out, that there will be a themed experience coming to Six Flags theme parks this Halloween. It's going to be a really cool experience. Well, at least they got that. But yeah, there's we've been waiting for Las Vegas, and it was just kind of like, wait, I thought Army of the Dead actually was number one, and it did good numbers, and it did all this, and it did all that. But at the same time, we're going, I don't know. And there's a lot of things right here that they actually reference in this very article right here when it comes to Planet of the Dead. They talk about Planet of the Dead, and he's talked about it. But there's something specific that I wanted to bring up too when it came to Tom, and when it came to the Hollywood Handle. He interviewed Zack recently. He interviewed Zack recently and even asked him about Planet of the Dead right here, and this is part of the interview right here.
The first movie mixed the heist genre with zombies. Do you have in mind what the second movie would mix the genre with?
Yeah, it's kind of what do you call it? Like a quest film, and sort of journey to another world movie, kind of like a Planet of the Apes movie more, I would think.
Oh, no, that's okay. That's great.
So a quest movie like Planet of the Apes, which makes sense, you know, obviously talking about portals and everything, which I was always very intrigued by, about the safes being like portals and the multiverse thing and the heist. I don't know. There's a lot of things when it comes to the Armyverse that I was very, very intrigued by. And so obviously you talked about that, but you know, at the same time, I'm like, okay, I get that. And a lot of people are like, well, wait a minute. He has been talking about it and says, he's still talking about what it's supposed to be, but is it going to happen? That's the thing. And there's mentions even in this article right here too, where they talk about like, okay, so is it all dead? Is it Army of the Dead? You know, he's talked about how, I will say that there's been a slight stall on the Las Vegas animated thing for technical reasons. It went off the rail a little bit. Twilight of the Gods, on the other hand, has been forging ahead incredibly well, and it is looking amazing, which is true because last Friday, they did a presentation and they showed off 2 episodes, and I talked to people who actually watched those and they said they're fantastic. So Twilight of the Gods is definitely happening, but when it comes to Las Vegas, I remember hearing that the animation studio that happened, they went bankrupt, so that wasn't a good thing. And then he said right here, there's actually there's actually a character from Rebel Moon in the Army of the Dead animated series that we never completed. So also said that we did all the scripts and the animatics for Dead Vegas, and all could watch it even in its rough animatic form. You can watch the entire run. But it's like, okay, but are we going to see the entire run? And that's what's like sucks about all this. I'm like, when Army of the Dead came out, I mean, we talked to Zach for like 2 hours just talking spoilers, and I've talked about how I'm just so intrigued about all that stuff, so I was really hoping that was going to be the case. Now, obviously, this is something from the Wrap, and there's not a direct quote. There's no direct quotes from anybody at Netflix or even Zach or Debbie. It's just the fact that it's like, okay, it's one of those things where we have to just wait. We just have to wait and see what happens. But at the same time, I'm just kind of going like, well, if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. And to be honest, it's like, okay, first off, going back to the whole Rebel Moon and how it was released. Now, obviously, that was an experiment that they tried. And all I was asking for, guys, and I'll say it again because I've said it numerous times, is I was just asking for Zack Snyder fans to, yes, I understand you don't like how it was released. Sure. But now we're all past that now. Both versions are out. You can ignore the PG-13 versions. Give the R-rated versions a shot. If it's not your bag, okay, we can move on. Move on to the next thing. Sure. But give it a shot because, again, I lost hype for Rebel Moon. That then watching the 2 director's cuts, I was like, oh, wow, yeah, I want more of this world. And then, of course, hearing Zach talk about some of the lore when it comes to that world building at the Q&A, because there are things in there that I was asking Scott, I was asking Steven, because they knew a little bit more than I did, especially Scott, who's read the novelization and stuff like that. We're going to be talking about a lot of Rebel Moon spoiler stuff on Friday's vodka stream. We're going to dive into spoiler talk when it comes to all of that. And there's one specific thing that I was like, wow, that wasn't mentioned, but it was mentioned at the Q&A. I even posted a clip when it came to at least the lightsabers when it comes to Rebel Moon and the, I guess you could say the magic or the science behind that as well. But there's something else specific too. I was like, oh, well, that's interesting that I don't think anybody's really talking about. Okay, we'll talk about that then when it comes to the spoiler chat of that. But yeah, overall, when it comes to this whole deal with Netflix, yeah, there is a chance. There is an absolute chance that Zack Snyder might end up not continuing these universes. There is a chance. There's definitely a chance, which sucks. Which definitely does suck. And maybe this whole thing, Scott Stuber was all about it, and then all the money they put in when it came to the pandemic, and now they're scaling back, and now they got Dan Lin. Now and with the numbers not being where they should be, at least these rough numbers that we're seeing, might not all be there. So there's a chance we might not get a continuation, and then there's a chance where it's like, hey, Zach, when he's talked about recently, He's talked recently about how he would want to make a smaller movie that doesn't have VFX shots. That might be the way that he has to go. That might be the way he goes when it comes to that. And he talked about it right here on the minute here. Here we go right here. It was on the Minutemen podcast right here. So let's bring up this.
Do you have any idea, any possibilities you can say? It's a Rebel Moon, it's Planet of the Dead, it's something else, less photograph.
I don't know. I think that my hope is to do another Rebel Moon movie, but I think before we do another Rebel Moon movie, we will do a small movie. I have a bunch of interest from a bunch of small companies who want me to just do a crazy movie, like whatever I think, they want to support me and just say, okay, we want you to do fuck commerce, just make us something crazy. And I'm like, okay, well, that sounds like a good deal to me.
Perfect.
Grande Zack, mi raccomando, in gamba.
Thank you so.
Now, does that mean like A24 or Neon or something like that? Possibly. That could be the route to go. If all this stuff just comes crumbling down because it just didn't work for Netflix, even though, like, if you just let it breathe a little bit, because I'm kind of wondering about the long game when it comes to Rebel Moon, maybe more interest will go to that. But at the same time, the first impression was not a good one when it came to audiences. I'm just kind of going like, yeah, what if Zack makes a small movie for like 30 million, 40 million? Make a small movie with one of those studios. Do something like that. Give him a break when it comes to like this whole crazy world. Although I don't see Zack like just going. It just seems like anything that he wants to make that's original, he's going to have like a whole Bible. He's going to have a Bible that's like behind it. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with attention to detail. And that's what I love about Zack. That's why he's one of my favorite directors, is he's got the attention to detail. He's got a good imagination and everything. But I would say if things go awry, and because we haven't gotten the green light to Rebel Moon 3 after they're all out. And that's what I've always been like, yeah, that's what worries me. We haven't gotten really a green light when it comes to Planet of the Dead, and we haven't gotten any real big update when it comes to Las Vegas. So if this is all not working out, I think Zack should definitely do something small for like an A24 or a Neon. Show those directing chops, show the creativity on a limited budget, because Zack's not going anywhere. No matter what happens when it comes to this whole Netflix thing, Zack ain't going anywhere. He's a household name. He's created a brand for himself, and he'll probably end up working with Warner Brothers again, for all we know. I mean, he's supposed to with the 300 prequel series, but I'm just saying, it's not like he's just going to disappear and that's it. No, he's still going to make things, still going to be creative, still going to show his art. But if everything goes right, it's like, all right, yeah, do something small. And the fact that he said it numerous times, it sounds like that's what Zack needs. Remember when he took a break after the whole debacle and everything, the tragedy and everything that happened when it came to Justice League, and then of course he did the little fucking little short film that he did on his phone, something steel and iron, snow, steel and iron. He made that on his phone, and it's like, hey, hell yeah, he could make something like that. Do something simple, small, but then of course put his touch onto it. But again, I just ask Zack Snyder fans, give it a shot. Give the R-rated versions a shot. But if it's not your bag, I totally get that. But yeah, the whole experiment, man. The experiment. What are we doing here? Oh, I forgot that. I don't know if that's good. We got Droger right there. Thank you for the $5 super chat. If Hamada wasn't involved, I'd want Zack to do TM. Oh, yeah. Oh, definitely he's not going to do that. 'Cause, yeah, he could probably do something definitely for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles for sure. He could do something for them for sure. And then, of course, thank you, darling. Lisa, appreciate it. There was another one. Oh, yeah, that's right. It was Joe right here. Thank you for the $10 super chat. I can only see Snyder coming back to DC if James Gunn offered him to do a live-action Final Crisis with his Justice League cast returning. It probably won't happen, though. Ooh, goddamn. Giving me a little bit of a Woody there, all right? I think I'm I'm at like 36% right now. That would be pretty sweet. And I'm kind of wondering too, like when it comes to the more diehard Zack Snyder fans, I'm like, what are you gonna do like when he ends up going and working for fucking James Gunn and do some kind of do the Authority or something like that? What are you guys gonna say when that happens? That would, that would be crazy if that happened. I don't think that's actually gonna happen. Like, again, I hope he actually does a small movie just to be like, all right, it's time to do a small movie. But I thought about that too. I'm like, damn, what if that actually happened? But I don't think that's actually going to happen, but it would be interesting. It would be definitely interesting. But yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things, guys, where it's just, yeah, we just got to sit back and wait. Sit back and just wait and see what happens. Yes, this whole way that they were releasing a Snyder cut of Rebel Moon was not the way to go. It definitely wasn't. All I was asking for is like, hey, let's just be patient, see what happens. And they tried, they really tried. But then it seems like Netflix was like, it's whatever. They could have done so much more when it came to the marketing of the director's cuts, and they decided not to. Probably because they just don't want to put more money into it. I don't know. It's all very awkward and weird. But at the same time, all of a sudden we could wake up tomorrow and, oh yeah, Rebel Moon Part 3 is greenlit. Oh yeah, Planet of the Dead is greenlit. I hope they are, or hopefully we could see them in some kind of fashion or whatever. And, one of the things I do ask too is like, hey, you guys over there in the sell Snyderverse to Netflix thing, how you feeling right now? Huh? How you feeling? How you feeling with this when you are putting a lot of your energy and effort into that as opposed to this? How you feeling now? Okay? What if Zack actually leaves Netflix? I think your campaign would be fully dead after that point if he ends up leaving Netflix. And what, are you just going to change the hashtag to Amazon, Paramount, Roku? What are we going to change it to, huh? YouTube? I don't know. Yeah. And we're going to be talking about what's happening over at Warner Brothers right now, which, I don't know. It's just one of those things where I'm just like, I start thinking about the energy that has gone into that. And when I interact with some of these Snyder fans that are still very much grasping and still holding on to the fact that Zack's going to come back to DC and continue all that. And I'm just like, no. It's like, no. Energy should have been shifting over to his original universes that he was trying to do, but most of the energy from those folks went to that, and it's like, God, that sucks. That sucks. Anyways. Oh, Lisa, you were just like, geez, it's like you're just doing this. You're just handing out the prizes right now. You are awesome. You are so awesome right now. Anyways, okay. So let's go ahead and wrap up that main title, or the main topic right there. And guys, I'm not actually going to do, and I appreciate like the new memberships right now. Appreciate the new memberships. Usually I do a members only stream after this, but sadly I'm not going to be able to do it today because, I got DC Fanimated at 8 o'clock and still got to watch the episode. I've had a busy day today, so I apologize. And again, thank you, Lisa, for doing that. And thank you for handing out those. I definitely will do it next week. I'll make up for it next week. But yeah, as of right now, I was like, oh crap, I got so busy with things, with work and everything like that, that I'm like, oh, I got to still watch the episode. So not going to do a members only today. But anyways, let's talk about Deadpool and Wolverine and the missed cameos, as in the cameos that didn't quite make it to the big screen. Now, first off, the first cameo. Well, first off, let's go look at Ryan Reynolds and what he was posting on Twitter today when it came to the cameos that did make it. And let's see some of the stuff that he posted. So first off, let's see. I think we already talked about Jennifer Garner, but he did talk about Dafne Keen, When Dafne Keen shows up in Deadpool and Wolverine, she shines her light toward the big beating heart of the movie. Dafne and Hugh standing next to each other is a pinch me moment. It stands on the shoulders of the Logan film, which is both a masterpiece and a giant. Levy and I have been living with her every day in the edit and sound mix throughout a pretty relentless post-production. Even 3 days ago, as we went through the film's gag reel, I still get geeked out seeing her in those sunglasses. I'm so happy, folks, all around the world who've been carried away to a better place by Dafne and Hugh Jackman and their unbelievable performances. So that just kind of shows you right there that, hey, guess what? We're going to get a gag reel, and that's going to be fun. That's going to be fun. And, of course, there was that. There was this. And then Ryan said right here, a few people asked if we were tempted to try a fastball special. The answer is yes. Except instead of throwing Deadpool or Wolvie, we chucked this guy. And it didn't make the cut, sadly. Didn't make the cut. Didn't make the cut. And then, of course, he talked about Jon Favreau. Jon Favreau didn't just jump into Deadpool and Wolverine for a quick one-night stand as Happy Hogan. He gave us a 360-degree vision of an innovator, foundational Marvel forefather, and a storyteller. And, of course, gives praise to him. Fun fact, Jon Favreau is now, been in, 16 MCU movies? He now has a record beating out everybody when it comes to Happy Hogan appearing in MCU films. So good on Favy Pants. That's pretty awesome. And speaking of not making the cut, Ryan Reynolds actually talked about the Snyder Cut. He's talked about it before. He's mentioned it. But he talked about the Snyder Cut yet again, and here's what he had to say. There won't be an extended cut of Deadpool and Wolverine. Ryan Reynolds adds, I asked Sean about doing a Snyder Cut, but he didn't seem to feel like it was appropriate. There you go. That just shows you right there that the Snyder Cut, it's just a trademark. It's a part of pop culture right there. So he did mention that. Now, when it comes to certain other cameos that were suggested or at least hinted at, the first one was Taylor Swift, and that was never going to be a thing, apparently. That was just something where it's like, oh, people suspected that. That was one of the plants that they put out there. And basically, Sean and Ryan said, well, we were just kind of happy that, she's a great person and the fact that she loved the first two movies. So, but it wasn't actually going to be a thing. But who did they reach out to? Nicolas Cage. That's right. They reached out to me, but after what happened when it came to my other cameo in that other movie, I don't know. Now, I don't know if that was actually the case. I know Nicolas Cage wasn't too happy with what happened when it came to his cameo in The Flash, even though I thought it was, cool. But, obviously there were some interesting things that maybe Warner Brothers pulled when it came to that. But yes, they reached out to Nicolas Cage to have a Ghost Rider appearance, but apparently Nicolas Cage turned it down. Interesting, because usually Nicolas Cage doesn't turn things down. So that's kind of interesting. I'm wondering if Nicolas Cage will be asked that in some kind of future interview. But then, what was being considered too at one point was the Fantastic Four cast from 2015. Ryan Reynolds talked about that too. They considered doing Fan Four Stick, bringing the Fan Four Stick cast back as well. Considered it, didn't happen, of course. But the big question, guys, when it came to this, because everybody thought, well, you got Hugh back, we got teasings of Halle Berry with white hair and everything like that. The original X-Men cast, they're going to be coming back. No! Apparently, they didn't even consider bringing Patrick Stewart back, Ian McKellen, and everybody else when it came to that original X-Men cast. Apparently, that wasn't even considered. And you know what I think, and I think a lot of you probably think too, of why they weren't considered? Because they are being saved for Secret Wars. Yep. That's got to be what's happening, right? If you're not going to bring back any one of those people, well, You got to save them for another time, right? And I'm thinking that other time is going to be like a Secret Wars thing. That whole group's coming back. Patrick Stewart, maybe Ian McKellen. I don't know. But yeah, they said it wasn't even considered. Don't even tell me that. I think that was told to you. Maybe Kevin Feige was like, yeah, don't even consider it. That's what I think. That's what I think. So, there you go. There's some of that right there. There is that. There is that. And now we got 3 movies coming out this weekend. That's right. Let's talk about some of the reviews when it comes to, well, we got Borderlands, right? We got Borderlands. We got It Ends With Us. And we got Cuckoo. We got Cuckoo. We're going cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs right here. So, are we excited for Borderlands? Because I'm sure it's going to be a blockbuster hit because, you know, there's no reviews, which means no, people are probably thinking this fucking thing sucks. Yeah. Definitely, this is one of those movies that's just like, okay, that's probably going to flop. Most likely going to flop. For sure. Oh, that's not good when that happens, but, you know. I mean, Trap ended up being 53%, at least. And then you got It Ends With Us. Hey, that's at 60% right now. That's not too bad. You know, the popular book club fiction, the romance connects with an audience, yearning for strong emotions, toggling between the height of romantic love and the depth of domestic violence until the redemptive end. All right. So that one's, you know, we'll see what that does. Apparently that's predicted to be like second when it comes to that. And then you got Cuckoo, which a lot of people are like, oh yeah, this one looks good. And to be honest, I was like, yeah, it does look good. And that's at a 79%. It seems like people are really digging this, even though we got a bad review right here. Stevens is hiding a terrible secret is evident from the outset, but the film's explanation of what's going on and why is so muddled and baffling. Cuckoo seems free and inspired until it starts seeming random and slapdash, and its degeneration has everything to do with our gradually realizing that Tillman has lots of talent and ability to show off, but not much to say. It's interesting. If I had to choose a movie, I'd choose Cuckoo, and maybe I will. I'm supposed to take my mom out tomorrow for her birthday dinner, so it doesn't look like I'm actually going to make it to the movies tomorrow, but if I do, I'm going to go see Cuckoo. Cuckoo Choo. All right, so there you go. And then we got Warner Brothers. Oh, boy. Cheers. Now we got Warner Brothers. What's happening over that Warner Brothers DC, Warner Brothers Discovery, I should say. What is happening over with them and Zazzy Pants? Well, it's still not looking good. Still very much not looking good. The stock is not looking good. And yeah, things are just not looking good. And it's like, it's crazy. When this article came out from IndieWire, I'm just going to throw it up right now. Warner Brothers Discovery says its TV channels are worth $9 billion less than it thought. Ouch! That's right. Warner Brothers Discovery just realized its TV networks are worth $9.1 billion less than it originally thought, leading to a net loss of $10 billion in the second quarter of 2024. $10 billion? What are we doing here, folks? Jesus. What? Oh.
Fuck me, right?
That's what Zazzy Pants is saying right there. Yikes. Seems things are just not going well over there at Warner Brothers. Zaslav came from TV. He came from TV. Discovery is from TV. He came from TV. What the hell is going on? And then you have this right here from IGN. Warner Brothers Discovery wants to license franchises, which include Batman to Harry Potter and more, to other studios. I've actually told you guys that before too, because that's what I was hearing, that they were going to start being like, hey, let's do a fucking garage sale. You get that, you get that, you get that, you get that. Now, when it comes to the DC IPs, that's interesting. It's interesting. I don't think they'll actually do that, but it sounds to me like they actually might be selling a lot of their games, their gaming section, category, or whatever the fuck. They're going to be selling a lot of that. And then, yeah, they're just going to be, you take that, give us money. We need some shit. Oh, it's bad. It's bad. It's very bad when it comes to that. But yeah, when it comes to the DC property, I'm kind of curious about like what happens with that if somebody actually takes that, because obviously DC Studios is now its own thing. So if that ends up getting sold to like maybe Paramount or Comcast or something like that, Universal, whatever the fuck, I mean, that would all just go together. I would think that they would sell that as what's happening right now in DC Studios. It would be kind of crazy if like they did sell it and they said, we're not going to do what's happening right there. Wouldn't that be crazy? I don't think that's going to happen. I think they're not going to just do that. But I wouldn't be surprised if they start selling some more of their IP stuff. But my God, Zazzy Pants, he came from TV and he didn't even know about that? What the fuck's going on here, man? Oi. Failure. And we'll see what happens. We will see what happens. I guess it's all the reality TV stuff and everything, but I don't know. All right, let's get to some Twitter questions. Let's see what we got here. What do we got here when it comes to the questions from Twitter? Sam, don't know if you saw it, but the new Alien TV spot is hella spoiler-filled. These studios just can't help themselves. At least it looked fantastic. Okay, well, don't watch the new TV spot for Alien Romulus, because apparently there's a big old spoiler in there. I'm not going to watch it then. Thank you for warning me. And then we got Mr. Cohen Treo G right here. Mr. G. Hi, Dave. I feel like I've been listening to your show for ages, but still don't know what you do for a day job. Got to keep that a secret. That's right. OnlyFans. Feet. Anyways, just kidding. Also, will Zach be making a surprise appearance on this week's vodka stream? I hope his next projects end up being Black Kiss, Illusions, and Horse Latitudes. So you want something small too. Okay. Devon Wooter, hey Dave, it's annoying that people really want a WB to lose money because those people want Zack Snyder back. That's not right. I just watched Looper on Netflix. Fantastic movie. Do you have a favorite scene? I don't really have a favorite, but it's a really good movie. It is pretty crazy. But yeah, I mean, yeah, of course there are people that do want Warner Brothers to fail, but I mean, Warner Brothers as a name is never going to go away, but Zazzy Pants definitely is failing. Darkness on the Wind, Dave, question 1 from what was sent to the Soups YouTuber guy, which was a design of Dr. Doom, but a variant of Tony. Safe to say, if true, Marvel Studios really messed up and should have gone with another actor or stuck with Kang, but just recast? Like I said, it was a Boss Logic poster. Not sure exactly how much was really all about that. I don't know. And then question 2, would WBD regain all of the money they lost as announced today if Superman makes at least $1 billion? Everything after performs well and the Batman universe continues to be successful, especially if the Batman Part 2 makes $1 billion. I mean, they could have, like, their next 17 movies can make $1 billion, and God knows if they'll ever get out of the debt. See, that's the thing. That's where I go, I feel bad for Zazzy Pants, because he did inherit a fucking, what do they call that? Wow, what's that Tom Cruise movie? What's it called? Pit hole, shithole. I don't know what it is. But when you like buy a house that you have to put way more money in that you than what was originally purchased. I mean, he inherited a fucking hole. He inherited a hole. The Stagehand, Money Pit. That's what that movie's called. It's called a Money Pit. Yeah, that's what Zaslav inherited. That's what he bought. He bought a money pit. He bought a fucking money pit, and he can't get out of it. And he's not making things better. The Stagehand, is it wrong that I want to see Zack Snyder direct either a romantic comedy or a straight comedy? No, that's not wrong. I would love to see that too, to be honest. And then finally, Boomish. It's time for Snyder to gain some trust in the audience. Army of the Dead was a very weak movie. Rebel Moon is a straight-up failure, in my opinion. Snyder should stick to direction and stay away from writing or cinematography. Make a small movie with no bloated CGI. I don't know. Some of the cinematography is pretty awesome in the director's cuts of Rebel Moon. There's some things in there, but I get some people didn't like the dream lens thing, and then of course he did a whole different lens that he called Noctoscope, I think it was called. Yeah, Noctoscope. That he was actually giving away skateboards that had that. So maybe, yeah, I don't know. I think he's a very innovative person and he's not afraid to take chances. That's what I love about him. He's very ambitious, and that's what he's always said. Very ambitious, but yeah, maybe taking a break from these big, huge IPs that he's created with like total world building. Make something small. Show he's got the talent. He knows how to tell a story, but maybe he's got to do that just to show people that, hey, he does have that talent. And yeah, all I have to say, guys, just be patient. He's not going anywhere. He's going to continue creating. Him and Debbie are going to continue creating. Just got to be patient. And yeah, maybe this whole Netflix thing didn't fully work. I really enjoyed Army of the Dead, and I've thoroughly enjoyed now the Rebel Moon director's cuts. But if we don't get any more of that, it's going to suck. But at the same time, I'm like, all right, well, he's going to continue telling stories, and I'll be there day one watching them. All right. There you go, guys. That's today's show. Like I said, no members-only stream today. Sorry about that. Like I said, work's been a bitch, and everything's been kind of, crazy right now. I didn't really have anything to say, because usually I hope to bring you guys something when it comes to members, but tune into DC Fanimated. We're going to be, of course, watching another Batman Adventures episode tonight, Scott and I, so should be good. So hopefully you guys, if you want to tune into that. Other than that, tune into, of course, the Vodka stream. We'll be talking heavy Rebel Moon spoilers, doing a lot of discussion when it comes to that, because that's what I want to talk about when it comes to Rebel Moon. Not the way that it was released. Yes, we get it. Didn't work. This whole thing didn't work. But I want to just talk about the movies. Anyways, guys, love ya. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. And appreciate the super chats and appreciate the members' gifts, Lisa. Really thank you for that. And yeah, guys, see you in a bit. Talk to you later.